Ohio Sasquatch encounter on a hollow in Wayne Forest. Van Lester writes RMSO. My Sasquatch encounter was in the Wayne National Forest of southeast Ohio. We saw him clearly at about 40 yards away at dusk. He was about an 8-footer. It was late summer of '73 when a good friend and I were en route from Columbus to Portsmouth, taking us past the Wayne National Forest. My friend was originally from down that way and knew of a place in the forest that offered a great view of the sunset on the hills that cover this area of Ohio, the foothills of the Appalachians, and we agreed that it would add to our trip. The landscape was a pull-off on a turn that faced directly west, allowing for the promised sunset. A beautiful location with a spot nestled between two hills and a holler at our backs. The sun was nearing the horizon when my friend quickly shushed me several times and said that there was a deer somewhere on my side of the car. I looked and saw nothing, and asked how he knew there was a deer over there. He replied that he could hear twigs breaking in the underbrush that covers the area. So we quietly waited for this deer's appearance. Suddenly, this thing rounded the hill about 40 yards to the right of the car. We were stunned as we could see it clearly rounding the hill, making its way towards the road. Neither of us had ever heard the term Bigfoot before and had no idea what we were seeing. We were really scared. We watched as it walked off of the hillside, then crossed the road on which we had come to this spot. It really scared us as it crossed the road. It looked directly at us, then turned back to its path, which took it submerged into the holler behind us. At this time the sun had not yet gone down, but the shadows were long in the woods. My friend was more scared than I, and was determined to leave immediately, as he asked repeatedly that we get the hell out of here, and what the hell did we just see? I, like most young boys, was fascinated with dinosaurs and owned several books on the subject, but my favorite offered artist renderings of their creatures, and one of the paintings was that of a giant three-toed sloth. I told Tom that it was that animal, but without the tail. I played football in high school on both sides of the ball, and as a defender I was really good at sizing up other players of large stature. This thing was between 8 and 8.5 feet tall. There were two other characteristics that I recall vividly, one being the length of his arms and legs, the other being the length of his coat. When we returned to Columbus, we told our friends about what we had witnessed, and for the most part, they were certain that we had seen a bear. A couple of years later, Tom and I were stationed at Grand Forks, North Dakota as a policeman in the Air Force, and we lived in different dorms. There was a blizzard that night, leaving me nothing to do but watch TV. That was when I first saw the Patterson film. I was stunned. I immediately called Tom at his room and told him to turn on the appropriate channel, explaining that this thing is what we saw in Ohio. It was on TV, and they called it Bigfoot. We talked excitedly while we watched whatever program it was on, and was absolutely certain they were the same creature, but with ours appearing a little taller and not as thick, but definitely related. Today, whenever we see each other, Tom and I, we assure one another of the reality of the whole encounter. Our story remains the same after all these years, and remember how scared we were when it acknowledged us as it crossed the road. Our fear was such that we did not cross its traveled path when we left. Tom didn't know where the road led to, but we were not going back the way we came. The whole episode lasted what I would guess to have lasted approximately 30 plus seconds. And he was clear in view, as the aforementioned underbrush was only thigh-high on him, and then the clear view across the road, and he disappeared down the hill behind us. I hope this answers your inquest. It was an amazing event that is forever etched in both our minds. RMSO responds, Hi Van. Ohio has a long history of Bigfoot sighting reports along with images and videos of the creature, including where you had yours in the Wayne Forest. Sasquatch group captured on door camera in Schallenberger, Ohio, after dog alerts homeowner. I enlarged the following footage 250% and enhanced the lighting. This footage was originally submitted to BFRO and shown on Matt Moneymaker YouTube. The homeowner's dog alerted him to the trespassers on his property, and after reviewing the footage, he believes it may have been 2 or more Bigfoot crossing his property. I will play it one last time at 200% enlarged with the sound boosted by 18 decibels.
This whole yeah, obviously it's a pretty big deal, right? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Well, should we say something? I don't know, like a formal gesture, like welcome next brothers. Like, no, what's wrong with you, man? Don't say anything. Don't be weird. But not saying something. I mean, should we, I don't know, mark the occasion. You just want to go fun. Why do you think Titus scientists?
Ohio appears to have one of the largest concentrations of Bigfoot sightings reported outside the Pacific Northwest in the lower 48 of the U.S., including many photos, videos, and vocalization recordings. We would like to show you an amazing game camera capture, a family's experience with Ohio Sasquatch on their farm, and Bigfoot vocalizations from this area. The person that captured this image on their trail camera in Ohio claimed they don't know what it is. It appears Bigfoot in shape and color. Interesting capture. Josh writes RMSO. Me and my family have seen an all-black figure twice on a fence line coming from a pile of dead chickens from a chicken farm. It crossed 300 yards very fast. First, my kids told me they saw Bigfoot. I just blew it off until me and a neighbor farmer seen it in the middle of the day with our own eyes. We are located in Minerva, Ohio. Sorry, forgot to mention that. Outskirts, not a lot of homes around. RMSO responds. Hi, Josh. Middle of the day? Lucky. Do you recall any details, how the sighting began, what color the creature was? Were you able to estimate the height or the width? Do you recall seeing the face or eyes? We appreciate hearing from you. Josh responds. Whatever it was 500 yards, solid, dark in color, like black, and seemed to be walking like a robot. Second time it's been there. I was never a believer, but now I am. Couldn't see its eyes or hair, nothing like that. Seemed to be decent size. I'm 6 foot, 300 pounds, was definitely taller and bigger. Crazy thing is, I have a thermal and coyote hunt a lot here and have never seen anything, but I don't know. Definitely saw it that day.
What I'm recording right now sounds very similar to what I heard back in 1991 or 92. Does not sound like a dog at all.